Z-Manzilla here, just doing a little bit of shopping while I have a chance here. And I know, obviously, I keep splitting my time between what I'm doing with the SNAPMAP Top 5 and everything else. But, this is all just such interesting stuff right here, There's a lot of fine, wonderful products for here to try. I mean, like, for instance, this. I'm going to enjoy a big bag of this tonight when I get home. Oh my God, no, that's dog food. Anyway, it's time for the SNAPMAP Top 5. I really should have picked a better aisle, huh? In any case, I played about 20 maps this week. Liked most of them. Some of them I didn't, but you know what I did? I did the usual thing. You know how this works. I went through, I picked all my favorites, gave some commentary, and I'm about to show you my top 5 favorite as well as my upvotes. Stick around afterwards for some more words from me as well, and I'm also going to do a little synopsis about the Snapshot. You know what? You're going to watch. It's like a 20-minute video. Let's just watch, huh? Starting things off this week is Apocalypse WoW by Moon Marooned. Now, I had the opportunity to play this multiplayer thanks to some help from my good friend PsychoKnight141, and you can check out his channel here on YouTube under that name, PsychoKnight141. In any case, we had a fun time tackling this map together. It's a very fast-paced map with some great combat in it. It's very fun for co-op. I was having a whole lot of fun with this one. One of the things that's really cool about this is that the set dressing, it's minimal, but it's functional. It's got some really great functional set dressing going on here, and I was really enjoying the way that all the combat was balanced in it. It was a whole lot of fun indeed, and of course, again, it's a very good co-op experience. Although one thing I will say as sort of a piece of feedback, I can't say that it felt wholly balanced for co-op. It actually felt a little easy in places, having a partner there. And, again, with the set dressing, while it is very functional, it was very light, And one of the other things I would have liked to have seen was maybe some way of front-loading how the live system worked. You do get a lives counter, but it wasn't actually apparent right at the get that whether it was a shared life pool or an individual life pool. And if it was individual, what would happen if one person ran out of lives and the other one didn't? It was all sort of a very confusing thing all around. It would have helped to have that sort of front-loaded for the sake of the co-op experience, but these are all just sort of little things to pick apart on it. And honestly, at the end of the day, it was just a really fun, challenging scenario all around. Lots of great combat going on in there, lots of great fighting. I had some fun, memorable moments with PsychoKnight141, and I highly encourage you to check out that replay. He's got one on his channel as well, and that's our replay of Apocalypse WoW by Moon Marooned, which you can play by yourself or with a friend using map ID BPDRNABR. Our number 4 map comes to us from Xenion, and it's called Path to Oblivion, Part 3. And yeah, that's right, Xenion's Path to Oblivion series has shown up 2 weeks in a row here on the SNAPMAP Top 5. It really is that good. Now, a couple quick things to get out of the way here. Like the previous episodes, you will be running on a lives system, so you want to be careful there. You can't die too much or else it's game over, pal. There's also an interesting variant in there. There's a section where it's sort of an escort mission, although your escort can actually fight as well. And depending on how you feel about such things, it could be a good thing or a bad thing. I will say this, it is a very well-constructed map. Some of the best story elements I've seen, especially throughout the whole series. This is probably the most exciting episode so far from a story angle. There's a Hell Knight in there named Sergeant Kelly. It's a fun and challenging section when you're sort of doing an escort / tag team thing with him. There is some brutal, fast-paced, fun combat going on in here that can get hairy really quick if you're not careful. And I will say this, by the way, going back to Sergeant Kelly for a moment, I really felt he was a well-written character, which is not something you can say often in Snap Maps there. The other thing to keep in mind here is you have ample ammunition to work with, and the challenge here is just getting to it. They pick some really great locations to sort of store away the ammo. It's an all-around fun and engaging experience, definitely, but as always, I do have some feedback, and the one thing I will say is that the escort mission part can be mistaken as having an AI partner, and that's certainly not the fault of the creator. A lot of that's something that's been front-loaded by other maps that people have made. That said, be sure to drop that expectation. If your AI partner dies, it's game over for you there. The other thing that's weird is that the POI, the POI for Sergeant Kelly disappears when he's out of sight. It makes him harder to keep track of, which is a problem problem because, again, if he dies, then it's game over. So, and of course, since he's based off a Hell Knight, he can move pretty fast. So keeping track of him is a bit of a trick, but it's a trick worth mastering to play through this map. It's Path to Oblivion Part 3 by Xenion, and that's found using map ID Q5MF SM25. Let's take a moment here real quick to take a look at the results of this week's Snapshot Challenge. Now, as you may remember from last week, I challenged mappers to come up with explosion-themed maps. The player would only have the rocket launcher or the grenade to work with, and 5 mappers answered the call, including Sonnenbloom, Shadesmaster, Plasma, CJ the Rednon, and Drakaya. They delivered a series of maps that were explosive in many ways, and I enjoyed them very, very much. It was just fun having some fun with some explosions here. Now, you can check those plays out using the links in the description of this video, and you can see the full uncut plays of all the SS3 challenges, and of course check them out for yourself with that custom tag SS3. So that's out of the way. Let's move on to the next challenge. So I figured this time around we'd have some fun with a theme. Players, you can do whatever you want with the mechanics, as anything you want to do in the map, as long as you follow one simple thing, and that's that the map is to be themed around the 4 classical elements. That's earth, air, fire, and water. So your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to create a Doom Snap map centered around the theme of the 4 classic elements. That's earth, air, fire, and water. Any mechanics goes, but there are going to be a few simple rules as always, and those rules are keep it to 3 modules or less, make sure your map has a playtime of about 10 minutes or less, and make sure you are tagging them all with that custom tag SS4. That's how I'm going to be able to find them and play them, and trust me, I do want to play them. And when will I be playing them? Well, I'll be playing them on Friday. So the deadline is Thursday, October 12th. I will be playing all those maps on Friday, October 13th, and I will be having a great time doing so. Very much looking forward to what you come up with this week, and that's all the results I got for you today on this week's Snapshot Challenge. Coming in at number 3 this week is Aliens, Alien 2 by J.R. Crash. And I'm actually putting this one on the list because of a great co-op play that I did with Psycho Knight 141. So, first off, it's an excellent looking map in general, but I mean, the multiplayer in it just makes it so much more fun. Let's talk about those custom systems first. Okay, permadeath is enabled in this one, although if you are playing co-op, you do have the option of being able to revive your teammate. This is an excellent looking map here. Some great custom geo-prop work, including a dropship and a power loader that was built for the experience. It's very fun as a single-player map, but extremely fun as a co-op experience. Loved it. There's some excellent cutscene camera work going on here to help drive that plot, which is, of course, based on the popular 80s movie Aliens. And there is constant spawning during the monster areas, that keep the action nonstop and makes the whole map feel incredibly dangerous. I do know that myself and Psycho Knight got freaked out on more than one occasion while we were playing this one. And of course, there's some great use of sound effects as well. Like, the motion sensor from the movie was recreated in this using sort of a heartbeat sound effect that would get faster when you were in dangerous areas. It was a whole lot of fun. Now, I will say that it did feel a little ammo-starved in places. This was likely done on purpose due to this being more of a survival horror-themed experience. So it's very possible that it was an intentional design thing. Nonetheless, it can be a little frustrating when you run out of ammunition for your weapons there. Also, the imp spawning method it actually uses the spawn effect and actually brings the demons in where they sort of spawn in place, complete with that sort of red spawning effect, which does break immersion slightly and kind of remind you that, yeah, you're still playing Doom and not quite Aliens, But again, it is what it is. Given when the map was designed, it was designed a couple updates ago, and it's a very popular map to begin with. But I mean, here, the thing I really want to reflect on this here is that it's a fantastic map all around, especially if you're looking for something to play with your friends, and, it's absolutely great. Definitely give this one a try if you're in a co-op mood and you got some friends that want to check something out. That's Alien 2 by J.R. Crash, and that map ID is ZPDEU2LQ. Bringing us into number 2 this week is from UAC The Hell version 2.0C by Dark Sniper. So I've played this map before, I enjoyed it very much then, but I did have some complaints about the darkness. What Dark Sniper has done is he's created a new system, a night vision system that actually addresses some of the darkness issues I was having before. It still has that same moody atmosphere, it still has that same just punishing combat, but now there's a night vision system to help you out so you can see what you're doing during mission critical points in the map. Now, I really appreciate having this night vision feature. It helps me out with the darkness quite a bit, and as always, I definitely enjoy the story elements that are going on in this map. If you've not played the UAC The Hell series at all, definitely give it a try because it's got some great storytelling elements, some wonderful world building, and there's just a lot going on there. And of course, you know, very, very difficult combat. So if you're just looking for a challenge, this is definitely the map for you. I mean, you've got the tools to work with, and you'll find more tools along the way, but man, it is not going to be easy on you. And, you know, it still has that same great checkpoint system, really atmospheric, just a wonderful map all around. Now, I do have some feedback about the night vision feature in particular. You know, the night vision is triggered using user interface 2, which on controllers is you click down like the left stick. Now, the problem with that, of course, is that in the heat of the moment, it's very easy to accidentally trigger it, and so what can happen is it becomes very easy to waste the night vision because it's driven on a mechanic where you have a resource that, you know, powers the night vision and you can run out of it. So it's a little weird for that. And then the other problem is that I did feel like there weren't enough of the night vision power pickups to really support the feature in a good way. You know, and of course, you know, all of the usual feedback comes into play, you know, snaggy sets and, you know, sort of very claustrophobic in some places, but man, all of this just adds to the challenge of this map, you know, and it's very easy to see past all that stuff when you're having just such a great time, you know, being terrified, ripping and tearing and going nuts in from UAC To Hell version 2.0. That's again by Dark Sniper, and you can find it with map ID 6FDU5XTA. Before we get into this week's number 1 map, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the other maps I upvoted this week, starting with Sergeant Kublitsky's Great Escape by Amnu. It's some great-looking custom geo and prop work, wonderfully constructed city that's easy to navigate, has some really great, well-balanced combat, just a great loadout to work with, and an awesome sense of humor. Also a fun opening screen. Another map I upvoted this week was Prison of Elders Remake by Daniel Ronca 716. Features some very challenging combat, some custom systems that are cool looking and work well, and a cool super demon form feature. Very fun to play. Another map I upvoted this week was Ultidoom Map 6. I played that in co-op. That's by Scorn Demon. It's some brutal, unforgiving combat, difficult but fun, and a fair balance. It's also got a full loadout, allowing the player to determine their own path of success. Check it out. Another map I upvoted this week was Server Maintenance by Spunky117. It's a fun experience all around with some good action. It's got a challenging secret area, and there's a Hell Knight surprise in there that involves a Hell Knight crotch that I laughed out loud on. It was pretty funny. Another map I upvoted this week was Excavation Free-For-All. This was a map Plasma made for Psycho Knight 141 and I to play multiplayer in. Has some excellent custom geo in it, weapons that are hidden in a really good way, and a good size for supporting all VS combat. Check it out with some friends. Another map I upvoted this week was Doom Neo Classic E1M1 Hangar by Z Duke. It delivers all the flavor notes of E1M1 with some good custom geo and prop work, with a lot of time and attention paid to some very specific settings. It's very much worth considering if you're looking at want to look at another interpretation of E1M1 Hangar. Another map I played this week and upvoted was Flesh into Gear by Gaslight 25. It's very excellent for a first map, features some custom prop and geo work that's actually not that bad. Some good secrets and interesting combat scenarios in there as well. Enjoyed it. Another map I upvoted this week was the Angrax Artifact by The Lyran. It's got fair balance for combats, a good use of environmental hazards and traps, a good wave creation system, and a combat that feels hectic and dangerous. It was really fun. Another map I upvoted this week was Fight Like Hell Tournament Arena by Psycho Knight 141. It's a well-built map, one of his first. The goals are expressed clearly, and there's lots and lots of fighting to do. Definitely give this one a look. And finally, while I didn't upvote this one, I did want to give it a shout out and an honorable mention. That's Kill Dat Imp version 1.0 by Stop Existing Now. It didn't get an upvote for me because it's a style of play I'm not into. It's basically an idle clicker game in SnapMaps, which is a really funny thing to do if you think about it. It actually has a good aesthetic and window dressing for it. So if you're interested in checking out just something that's a little bit humorous, give this one a look. All of the playthroughs for these maps can be seen on my Twitch channel using the link in the description. And but hey, you know what? Let's just go ahead and move on here and check out this week's number 1. My number 1 snap map this week is The Recruit by Taylorhead, and I am so happy that there's a new Taylorhead map out there. Very, very happy indeed, and this is no exception here. This is just a fantastic map, and it's probably the shortest official map that Taylorhead has made, aside from, of course, Snapshot Challenge maps. Now, this is a survival arena experience, and a fantastic one at that. So, be expecting permadeath, but also because it's Taylorhead, you got to expect a lot of custom systems in play, starting with, of course, the multiplier scoring system that he likes to put in all of his maps, and just piling right on top of that. There's a lot to learn. Be prepared to read some instructions as you go in, but it is absolutely worth it because this is a fantastic all-around map. Excellent survival arena elements, all executed perfectly and balanced very well. Has some good custom geo that's gorgeous but not overbearing, and it also uses a lot of gameplay systems that don't get used a lot in snap maps, such as capture the flag, securing checkpoint systems. I really enjoy the way all of these are used. Another thing that gets used in this one is the Demon Control Grenade, and I actually found it to be very useful in this map as opposed to most of the times I see it implemented. Just a lot of fantastic things going on in this map all around, including a random mission objective system that works very well as well. You really have to check this one out. Some things I do want to feedback on this one. First of all, this is a survival arena, and of course a lot of these systems that are put in may be a little too complicated for the genre, at least for some people. I was perfectly happy with it, but it is definitely a very complex experience. Another sort of piece of feedback that I always end up giving Taylorhead, one form or another, is the jump pad mandatory. Anything involving jump pads. There's some mandatory objectives that rely too heavily on the jump pad mechanics, which I do feel are a little wonky if you don't know what you're doing. And of course, because of the complexity, it's not very first run friendly. I also want to give a shout out to Terratella, who spotted another bug in the map, which is that it is actually possible in this map to score so many points that your score will actually roll over into the negatives. It actually maxes out the top end of the integer there. So that's something they might want to look at as well. But here's the thing. These are all very minor complaints when you're talking about a map that is this well constructed. You really do have to see it and experience it for yourself. That's The Recruit by Taylorhead. You can find it with map ID LQ7BUPZL. And by the way, Taylorhead, congratulations, you are this week's number 1 snap map. So hey, let's try this again. Here I am out in the real world, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm super hungry, so I'm going to have some Hot Shine car spray. You know what? This was not a good idea. I probably should have planned ahead. Anyway, that was the Snap Map Top 5. Thank you very much for watching this week. If you have a map that you'd like me to play for you there, then just go ahead and look in the comments there and then leave your map ID and a brief description of your map so that I know what to expect when I go in there. If you want to help this channel out, if you like what I'm throwing down and you'd like me to throw down more and be able to afford lots of great products such as whatevever's on this random shelf right here, shoelaces. I need to feed my family shoelaces apparently. You can help me out at patreon.com/zmanzilla, or you can also buy my artwork at zazzle.com/drawnbutter. And if you want to watch me play these live, go to twitch.tv/zmanzilla. I play these maps Monday through Friday, usually starting around 11 a.m. And we're adding some new features, like on Thursdays I do multiplayer, and on Fridays this is the Snapshot Challenge. So if you're interested in all that, definitely check me out. But listen, it's been great, man. Thank you very much for watching the Snap Map Top 5. I've been Z-Manzilla. You've been awesome, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye now. Oh man, actually that mop really does look delicious.